On today's episode of As the Dish Turns, we are going to explore the inside sump. This inside sump is found on old style gravity fed ET drains. It's also found on our low water series and AWS and also the AWS-H. We're mostly going to focus on replacing of the push rod, part number 866307. Out in the field, these get bent on occasion and people want to replace them. And I've gotten requests for this video and how to do it and set it correctly. So as you tear your old push rod out, you want to examine the sump to make sure there isn't any damage to it at all. Then we want to get our new push rod. We run a regular lock nut down, a 1/4 and then a regular nut. We put a washer on there also. We run that down like so. Then what we'll do is we'll reinsert our new push rod in here, push it back forward, hook it to the drain link. We'll put a washer, a regular nut, then we will back it up with a lock nut. I like to have a pair of channel locks around just to really kind of lock everything in, or a pair of vice grips, I guess. But this kind of really just locks everything in. I like to try to find the center of this oval right here when I'm putting these down. I'll crank that down, go ahead and turn this all the way in. Once I have all that locked in, it should go back and forth smoothly, okay? So then from there, it is really, really important that you use the flat spot to have your washer and your rubber O-ring. So what we recommend to everyone is start your nut on normal, run it past the Noroprene or the nylon lock part of it to where your threads are showing outside of there. Then what you want to do is back it back off. This is very important because the inside is very flat. It's made to seal. So what we want to do is actually turn this back over, and it is very easy to cross thread these. So you want to run it down there to kind of re-thread the locking part of this. And what you're going to do is run this on. I do not recommend ever using any kind of air tool, cordless gun, anything running this on. A little bit of Loctite or a little bit of anti-seize is encouraged. If you don't have it, it's not that big of a deal, but a little bit of anti-seize will not hurt anything. So we get down, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch or so, something like that, showing thread. We want to put our washer, then our O-ring on here. We're going to push our O-ring all the way down towards flat. We want to inspect our ball, make sure our ball doesn't have any kind of imperfections in it. We want to also make sure our ball is seated all the way up against the stop. Then what I like to do is push the ball all the way down in to it and see if it's seated. Right now, I'm not far enough down. That's a problem. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and tighten this up some more. We're going to probably need to go down about another 1/4 of an inch, I'm guessing. So we'll go there, run this all the way down to where everything's nice and flat, press our ball back in here. Now I can feel it's there. So what we're wanting to look at now is pay attention to this. We push this all the way down into the drain seat, and then I'm gonna push on this. I want a good 1/8 of an inch of slop in this, with this ball contacting the drain seat, having just a little bit of slop. There's about an 1/8 inch of play there. That's just about right and just about where we need it. So I'm gonna go ahead and normally we put washers on these. I didn't bring one up, didn't even think about it. So we're just gonna go ahead and put the wing nut on there. This is basically what it is. We're gonna lock it in with the wing nut. You can still hear it rubbing. I wanna go a little bit farther. That shouldn't just twist. Now we're where we need to be. I don't try to crank those down too tight. It's just enough pressure. So then what you're gonna have is you're gonna have your, when it engages, it's gonna lift up, your water's gonna drain out for 10 to 15 seconds, just matters what model you have. It's gonna drop back down. It should seal and hold water in. So that's the basics to an inside sump. Just look, inspect your parts, make sure everything looks okay, everything looks clean, check your ball, make sure everything looks correct when you tighten everything down, but it should be a smooth operation up, smooth operation down. If anything is catching in any way, you've got a problem somewhere. You need to readjust down here or back up here. Hopefully this helps you when you are replacing a push rod out in the field. And as always, a clean dish is a happy dish.